The air over Seoul that afternoon felt almost cinematic. The sun dipped behind glass towers, spilling gold across the boulevard where hundreds of fans waited, holding banners and trembling phones. Cameras clicked like a chorus of mechanical insects, capturing the first public appearance of South Korea's newest power couple, Kang and Kim Yoo-jung. He wore a black suit, sharp yet effortless, a soft cream dress that glowed in the waning light. They smiled, waved, fingers brushing lightly as if testing how much the world would allow them to touch. To anyone watching, this was a fairy tale made real, two stars whose chemistry on screen had overflowed into life itself. We wanted to be honest with our fans, Kang said to the microphones. We're seeing each other and we're happy. Kim Yoo-jung added a quiet nod, eyes soft, a little nervous. The crowd screamed. It was the kind of moment that could rewrite an actor's career. The type that headlines are built for. But even as flashbulbs flared, a sense of foreboding lingered. Somewhere behind those lights, stories were already being written, ones they didn't authorize. First wave came just 2 days later. An online tabloid, notorious for its breathless tone and unnamed sources, published a piece titled PR Love, how Kang and Kim Yoo-jung's relationship was scripted by their agencies. It claimed the relationship was orchestrated to promote a secret upcoming Netflix drama. The article cited industry insiders who insisted that both stars had signed mutual publicity agreements. Within hours, screenshots spread across social media like wildfire. Fans who had celebrated the announcement now began dissecting every photo, every smile, every word from past interviews. Look how stiff they are, one commenter wrote on a forum. No real couple acts like that. Another posted a side-by-side comparison of their latest press conference and an old drama still, suggesting their body language was rehearsed. The noise grew unbearable. For those inside the industry, none of this was new. The Korean entertainment world had long thrived on manufactured illusions, relationships born under studio lights, breakups planned to coincide with comebacks, scandals leaked to bury worse ones. There was something particularly vicious about this storm. It wasn't just skepticism. It was hunger, the kind that demanded someone's downfall. Kim Yoo-jung, often praised for her grace under pressure, went silent. Her Instagram, updated weekly, froze. Fans flooded her last post with questions and pleas. Kang, meanwhile, appeared at a promotional event alone. Reporters shouted his name, asking if the rumors were true. He smiled politely, said nothing, and stepped into the black van waiting for him. The photos from that night, his expression caught between defiance and exhaustion, went viral within minutes. By the third day, the scandal had its own life. Talk shows speculated about hidden motives. YouTube channels compiled evidence timelines. And TikTok edits turned real emotions into meme fodder. Even respected news outlets began quoting the tabloids for clicks. One source close to the couple says they've barely seen each other since the reveal, read one article. But no one asked who the source was. Behind closed doors, a small circle of PR managers and publicists scrambled to contain the fallout. A whisper emerged that a rival entertainment agency, artist had recently been overshadowed by Kang's rising fame, might be behind the leak, yet proving that would be impossible. In this world, truth was a currency no one could afford. Still, something about the narrative felt wrong. Those who had worked with Kang and Kim Yoo-jung knew them as fiercely private, almost old-fashioned in their approach to fame. They had both turned down variety show offers in the past. Both avoided social controversies. To suddenly stage a fake relationship would contradict everything they stood for. But the internet didn't care for nuance. It wanted villains and victims, preferably both in the same story. The tabloids continued their campaign, grainy exclusive photos supposedly showing the two in staged romantic spots. In one, they were leaving a cafe in masks and hats, an everyday scene twisted into evidence of manipulation. Who calls dispatch photographers before a date? A headline sneered. The logic was circular but effective. Came the anonymous posts. I used to work at one of their agencies, claimed a user on a gossip forum. Everything about this relationship is fake. The post offered no proof. Didn't need to. Thousands of comments poured in, dissecting, debating, destroying. For the fans who still believed, defending their idols became an act of faith. Hashtags like Protect Yoo-jung and Trust Kang trended briefly before being buried by new accusations. And international fans joined in, translating Korean articles into English, each version losing more truth along the way. And through it all, the two remained silent. Perhaps they were told to. Our consultants often advise silence when the truth risks feeding the fire. But silence can be deadly in the court of public opinion. Invites imagination, and imagination is far more ruthless than fact. By the end of the week, Yoo-jung was spotted at Incheon Airport. Her expression hidden behind sunglasses. Lips pressed tight. Kang appeared separately the next day. His usual charm replaced by fatigue. They no longer smiled. The photographs told their own tragic story, two people who had wanted to share happiness now carrying the weight of collective suspicion. Inside a dim newsroom, watched it all unfold. As someone who'd covered this industry for over a decade, I'd seen the cycle repeat: love revealed, love questioned, love destroyed. But this one felt different. There was something painfully human about their downfall. Something that went beyond celebrity gossip. It wasn't just about two actors. About us, the audience that demanded transparency yet devoured rumor. The more I read, the more I wondered, when did we start mistaking love for marketing? When did sincerity become a weakness? Somewhere out there, two young people were trying to hold on to something fragile, while the world insisted it was fake. The rain began to fall over Seoul. I couldn't help but think, maybe this wasn't just a scandal. Maybe it was a mirror, reflecting not them, but the way we've learned to love in the age of spectacle. Silence stretched for weeks after the scandal broke. Silence has never been emptiness in this industry, it's the sound of knives being sharpened. When the storm refused to die down, entertainment world did what it always does, it started dissecting its own anatomy. Writers, producers, and PR veterans began speaking anonymously to reporters, peeling back the skin of a system that manufactures romance like it manufactures idols. Do you know how PR relationship is born? One former publicist told me over coffee, glancing around before answering her own question. Starts in a boardroom, not a bedroom. Someone brings up chemistry metrics, fan engagement statistics, brand synergy. The company asks itself, who should fall in love next? Her voice lowered. But Kang and Kim Yoo-jung were never supposed to be that kind of story. That's why it backfired. People could feel it. Inside the sleek towers of Gangnam. Illusion factory hums 24 hours a day. Agents calculate timing down to the second, deciding when to confirm or deny, when to leak or distract. Celebrity's reputation can be ruined not by scandal itself but by the moment it surfaces. The machine is efficient, merciless, and built on the assumption that love can be monetized. Yet this time, the gears jammed. The narrative didn't flow the way it should have. Instead of selling fantasy, it exposed the hunger behind it. The public wanted to believe, then wanted to destroy what they believed. Tags rose like tides and vanished within hours. Peer couple. Yoo-jung deserves better. Kang the manipulator. For every defense came a counterattack. And beneath it all, two names turned into a battlefield. Brands began quietly pulling their collaborations. Luxury watch company postponed an ad campaign featuring Kang. A cosmetics firm replaced Kim Yoo-jung's image with a newer, untainted face. On streaming platforms, algorithms buried interviews that once trended globally. Public affection had been converted into measurable loss. Online, the conspiracy web thickened. YouTube commentators analyzed their every micro-expression. Body language experts dissected clips, declaring that their smiles were strategic. Others insisted the couple had already broken up, citing nothing but industry patterns. Video gathered millions of views. Truth had become irrelevant, performance was the new currency. But beneath the noise, quieter stories began to surface, ones the tabloids ignored. A cafe owner in Mapo shared a memory online, Kang and Kim Yoo-jung visiting late at night, ordering simple iced Americanos. Bodyguards, no cameras. They just talked, he wrote. She laughed so softly I thought she might disappear. Post gained modest traction before being drowned by fresh accusations. Inside my newsroom, I kept digging. Something about the smear felt orchestrated. I traced IP addresses, cross-checked timestamps, followed breadcrumbs through anonymous forums. What I found wasn't definitive proof, but it was enough to see a pattern. Several of the earliest leaks had originated from accounts linked to a rival agency. One that had lost major sponsorship deals to Kang's brand the previous quarter. A coincidence? Maybe. But in this world, coincidences rarely come cheap. I requested an interview with both actors through their representatives. Kang's team replied with a brief email, "No comment. But thank you for asking respectfully." Yoo-jung's agency didn't respond at all. The silence was louder now, heavy with exhaustion. Then, one night, a new set of photos appeared, grainy, poorly lit, captured by someone who didn't seem to know what they were looking at. The two of them in an unassuming restaurant. Inter-corner booth. No stylists, no entourage. Just two people eating ramen and laughing. The photos weren't romantic in the dramatic sense, they were quiet, unguarded. It was the kind of laughter that couldn't be faked. Hours, the images spread. But this time, the tone shifted. Even the harshest tabloids hesitated. Some fans whispered that maybe, just maybe, they had been wrong. For a fleeting moment, truth reclaimed a corner of the narrative. But in a media ecosystem addicted to outrage, sincerity is fleeting. By the next morning, new rumors had replaced the old. Photos were planted, said one site. A sympathy strategy, claimed another. The machine kept turning. As I watched it all unravel, I realized this wasn't simply about Kang or Kim Yoo-jung. Their story was the latest chapter in a longer, crueler book. The way we, as a culture, consume affection. We demand real love from people whose lives are built on performance. Cheer when they kiss. And we cheer louder when they break. Authenticity, once a virtue, has become spectacle. I thought about the first time I met Kang, years ago. When he was still a newcomer. He'd said something I hadn't taken seriously at the time: fame is like fog. It makes everything look beautiful until you try to breathe. Now I understood. Kim Yoo-jung, her gentle composure, once spoke about wanting to act in roles that make people feel less alone. How cruel it is that loneliness found her anyway. Podcast for the world to dissect. The public soon moved on. A new scandal replaced theirs, as they always do. A different celebrity couple took center stage. And the crowd turned its head, hungry for another story to break. But for those two, the silence remained. Their accounts stayed dormant. Their schedules cleared. They vanished from sight, not defeated, perhaps, but choosing a quieter existence. Weeks later, I received an unmarked envelope. It was a single photograph, a mountain trail, no faces. Just two sets of footprints in fresh snow. On the back, a handwritten note in careful. Your script, not everything real needs to be seen. I never confirmed who sent it. Maybe it was a hoax. Maybe wishful thinking. But I kept it pinned above my desk. A reminder of what this story had revealed. That love, when stripped of spectacle, still exists in the quiet corners we overlook. That behind every headline is a heartbeat. But enduring. The industry will move on. The tabloids will keep selling illusions. But somewhere, perhaps on that trail, two people will continue walking. No cameras, no scripts, no applause. The city's lights flicker against another night. The world forgets what it created. Yet the echo lingers, a lesson whispered through the static of fame. That in the age of manipulation, is the rarest kind of love.